we discussed about the data life cycle, like different stages a data goes through in its life cycle. Then we studied the concept of 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse, and recycle the components so that the number of e-wastes is reduced and ultimately your environment is not affected badly. So today we will be moving into your fourth module. So let me just quickly share the screen so that you can see the slides. The slides are visible, right? Yeah. The slides are visible.
Yes,
Okay. So today our topic as per the fourth module is approaches to gather business requirements. Okay. So basically we will be focusing on what are the business requirement. Yeah, everything is related to your business, IoT domain, like any business you have started or any startup you are creating. So you might be having different requirements. So the first thing is what are those requirements you need to understand, and why they are called as requirements. Next thing is, and how can you achieve those requirements, so or gather those requirements. So that will be the topic of discussion today. So these are the basic concepts to begin with. So you all are aware that IoT is basically interconnection between various real objects and virtual objects. Okay, so any physical or virtual object can be connected to each other using the internet, and that entire fabric of connectivity that exists between all these physical and virtual components constitute your entire IoT. So this IoT, any business or any startup or anything you are suppose going to start in this IoT domain, in which you will be interconnecting various physical and virtual devices. So what are the different kinds of requirements you need? Okay, so you will be needing different you will have different necessities which are called these requirements. So what are those requirements and how we can gain have access to those requirements. So suppose you want to what you say, you might have requirement in terms of hardware, you might have requirement in terms of software, you might have requirement in terms of certain communication protocol suppose you want to use, but you don't have the right, you need to request the government or the ISO, like some standard is there, you need to have access to that. So you need to take permission from the government or the higher authority so that you can use all those and later use it. Okay, just a second, there's some noise. Okay, so the design of internet and specifically the extension of the internet to the IoT rely on the convergence of various infrastructures. Okay, be it the software, hardware, everything has to be converged. Then only your entire IoT business will flourish. So that is the basic concept you all must be aware of. So next comes what is IoT interoperability. Okay, so now you understand what is your IoT. The thing is you need to interconnect various physical and virtual devices. Virtual means your clouds and all can be also needs to be connected to your physical devices, and all those should work in tandem. So that's your entire IoT. The next important concept is what is in IoT interoperability. So interoperability means you some IoT product, it's it is never like a string, it never goes in a single path. So suppose you are manufacturing your TV, suppose general concept I'm giving you, suppose one example, suppose you are manufacturing a TV. It's not that only electronics engineers will be, or elect person who has an electronic background will be able to do that, because you rely on various other components which might not be your forte. Okay, so you might rely on something which is being which is manufactured by suppose some mechanical engineer or some mechatronics engineer specialization, so that falls in their domain. But everything, whenever you want to manufacture something, you need to rely on different concepts or different like knowledge from different other fields and other backgrounds. So that's what happens in IoT also. So suppose you are creating your smart band, it's not about creating a single like hardware kind of thing, a band kind of structure, so that everything works. Rather, for that hardware, you might rely on some like suppose mechanical engineer who will suggest you what kind of material is necessary. But if you're but in your band, you need a sensor to measure your heartbeat, your pulses, your steps count. So for that, you need to use rely on some biomedical person or some biotic person who will be like helping you put particular chip made of particular kind of material that suits your body. So you cannot simply go on like thinking that I know everything, I can design everything, I'll put everything in my chip and manufacture some wooden band you prepare and that works. So that is never the case. It has to rely on concepts or ideas taken from different other sources. Is it clear? Was it clear whatever I told? Hello? Yeah, was it clear?
Ma'am.
Was it clear or not? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the thing is, we need to rely on different other sources for creating any of our IoT product. Okay. So that is called as interoperability, because anything interoperability means it it works in different things are working together, so it is interoperable. Like something you design here can be used in mechanical engineering engineer is designing some band like that can be used by somebody like from electronics background and biomedical background. They'll be designing the chip inside that or the sensor inside that. So all of them combinedly will be working and it will be interoperable. Okay, interoperable means is the component which you design here can be used by them and they can then update it or upgrade it. Then whatever they design will be available to you, so for you to upgrade or update. So those kind of interoperability is necessary in any IoT. So the lack of interoperability, if you want to create, if you want to hide your make your system not interoperable, so you will have to face various challenges. The first thing is so impossibility to plug interoperable IoT devices into heterogeneous IoT platforms. So suppose you just thinking that this is my product, I don't want anybody's intervention, I don't want anybody's help. So you design something for which you have kept some security or some password which nobody can crack. Okay, so suppose then if you need some help from somebody else and you don't give them the password, so it will be not possible for them to look into that or help you in that, because you are not aware of everything and you are not expert in every domain. Rather, you might need help from some other experts. So for that you need to be technically aware that whatever product you create should be interoperable. Next thing is impossibility to plug non-interoperable impossibility to develop IoT applications exploiting multiple platforms in homogeneous and or cross domains. So it is like if we don't give access to others or if we don't rely on others, so their knowledge or their expertise cannot be brought into our product. So that is one of the major drawback also. Then the slowness of IoT technology. If you go for a large scale production, your product might become slow. So that also you nobody will be able to help you because you are not trying to like ready to share your component or product with anybody. Then discouragement in adopting IoT technology. So you will be also not very motivated to work and improve your product because you are not ready to work in tandem with others or work in as a team with others, and it increases the cost. Okay, because you might not be also aware that every product you are using is the best and the cheapest in the market. Rather, you might end up landing in end up landing at a costly product or using a costly alternative. So then scarce reusability of technical solutions. So these are the like basic disadvantages if you don't go for inter IoT, like interoperable IoT. So now what is happening is all the things everywhere it has become inter-domain or interdisciplinary. So everywhere now in your concept, like suppose in your syllabus also, whatever you study, suppose you are studying machine learning, you have to make it try to learn it, make it as a interdisciplinary work, because everywhere it is useful. So if you stick to just your domain, you might not always land up in a good project, rather it has to be interdisciplinary. So next is what are the benefits. I told you what are the disadvantages. Now what are the benefits of going for inter IoT. So the first thing is at the device level. Okay, at different levels you will see the advantages. The first is at the device level. So at the device level, if you are going for inter IoT, what is possible is any other like in the device or in the hardware, any other new component or some chip is available, you can integrate that easily. Then at the network level also, like you can make merger with other networks, and that helps you ultimately improving. So at the middle level, at the application service, at the data semantics level, integrated IoT platform level, business level, everywhere all the advantages have been given. So as you go through, I think it will be possible for you to understand. I need not discuss that much in detail. So the next thing is requirements. So today's topic of discussion is about requirements. So what are your requirements? Whenever you are going for manufacturing your product, what are the kinds of requirements, what are requirements, and how to achieve them. So that's what the topic of discussion is. So as per ISO 2007, so they told that requirement is a statement that identifies a product, okay, or process, operational, functional, or design characteristic or constraint. So these are like two definitions given. One is by ISO 2007, another is INCOSC. This is also a standard by in 2010. They give these definitions of the requirement. So what is basically requirement was stated by these two organizations. So what characteristics of it? Good requirement. So what is requirement? So the and how do you specify that requirement? So suppose now you are studying in the classes, online classes. So what are your requirements? Okay. So can anybody tell me what is your requirement in the class? Suppose you are attending your online classes, what are the possible requirements you might face? Anybody? Aditi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you tell me for attending online classes, what would be your requirements?
It would be a good internet connection
Yeah, next.
and a good system which has a proper functioning mic and webcam facility.
Yeah,
And I think these are the two primary requirements.
okay. So suppose, yeah, very good. So similarly for your IoT also, like whenever you are going for creating your business or you're like starting your business or having a startup and all. So the first thing is you need to keep in mind is you should be ready to accept new things, and you need to first check out your requirements. So these are my requirements. First check it down, like these I need suppose hardware infrastructure, I need software infrastructure, I need different permissions from different organizations to use this particular bandwidth or all those whatever, like first check out all your requirements. So that is the basic requirement. So accordingly, so after you check out those requirements, the next thing is you should be ready to work as a interdisciplinary team, because you might not, suppose you are access like requesting somebody, not requesting, you have given your application to the government that you want to launch one IoT product, you need some particular bandwidth or some particular frequency to get have access to. So if your government is allowing, so that way like government is benefiting you with the resources it has. Similarly, you should be also able to benefit Okay, so that dependencies or that kind of relationship should exist between you and all your counter like your partners, so that they help you, and in return basically it is a symbiotic kind of relationship. So they take advantage of you and you also you get advantage from them. So it should not be like a parasitic one, rather a symbiotic relationship needs to exist between you and your partners. And that is called as like, if you are using launching your product and relying on like help, taking help from others, and that ultimately your product is you create it to a certain level, then you give your like some friend from biomedical, he will insert all those sensors and all which are compatible with the human skin and all, and not causing not having harmful effect on the human body. So that will, because that is his forte, so he will be doing that. So you should bring your product to one particular level where that integration is possible. It's not that you create something and make it some secure code, something you give some security or coding or some password you set, so that nobody else has access to that. So that should be avoided. And next thing is, as you told, requirement for your online classes, you are requiring two things: a system with good webcam and a mic support, and next suppose good internet connectivity. Similarly, for any IoT product, whenever you are launching, there are different features of the character requirements. So the first feature you need to understand is the requirement should be a necessary requirement. Okay, so suppose you are chucking down all your points, like I need, suppose you are launching a smart band. So what are your necessary requirements? It should not be like haphazard, like something you might not need. So suppose you are launching IoT product, there is no point in mentioning that you need soft drinks to drink in the office. So that is not a necessary, okay, requirement. Rather, that's simply like you cannot put those kind of things in the requirement list. Okay, so that is the first criteria. Next is the requirement needs to be appropriate. Okay, appropriate means in the sense that whatever requirement you have written, that is actually required. Okay, the specific intent and amount of detail of the requirement is appropriate to the level of entity to which it refers. So this includes avoiding unnecessary constraints on the architecture or design to help ensure implementation independence to the extent possible. So you cannot specify an undue requirements that temperature should not go above 40 degree. So AC, like 4 ACs should be there. So these kind of things are like, these are not that mandatory. Okay, for suppose you saw a system like your chip design needs particular temperature, just mention this particular temperature is needed. You need not mention I need 4 ACs, you need not mention I need 5 ACs. Suppose you are applying for a project or something, you need not mention all those technical tidbits, so that it makes your thing inappropriate. Rather, just mention this is the ambient temperature needed for the working of this device. So that has to be mentioned, maintained, so that the providing or the funding agency will accordingly decide what they will give to achieve that. Next is, it has to be unambiguous. So your requirements, whenever you specify, it has to be unambiguous, because you are asking for fund to somebody. So they should be able to understand, to make sense out of it. It should not mean that you have written something, they understand something and give you something else. So they should be unambiguous. Next is complete. So whatever requirement you give, it has to be complete in on forms, so that later if you would give something, later you ask, oh I forgot that, I forgot to add this requirement. So that should not happen. Next is, it should be singular. Okay, so it should say state a single capability, characteristic, constraint or quality factor. So it should not be like a single thing is handling multiple things, and good at something, bad at something. That way it will be tougher. So whenever you specify some requirement, makes you you specific, be specific. If you are using a GPU, mention, if you need a GPU, mention which particular GPU. Suppose you need a NVIDIA GTX something particular series, that value you need to mention. Okay, or this need not mention the company name, at least whatever frequency you need, whatever computing capability you need, that you need to mention. Okay, so that is singular. Next is feasible. So your requirements need to be feasible. It should not be like unfeasible. Just the example I told, you cannot ask for like ice creams and soft drinks in your requirement of IoT business, okay? Because those are not your requirements for the business. Next is it is verifiable. So whatever requirement you ask for, it should be like verifiable. If somebody comes for inspection, they should be able to identify why you are needing that. So it should be justified. That means it is justified. Next is it has to be correct, consistent, and comprehensible. Comprehensible means you this set of requirements must be written in such a way that it is clear as to what is expected by the entity. So somebody who reads your funding like project or is ready to give you fund, they should be able to comprehend from whatever requirements you have given. So it should be like they should be having an idea or understanding that you need this, so accordingly they should give you the product. So there are different kinds of requirements. So basically functional, this Volere method, okay, I have written over here. So this is basically a methodology. Okay, there are different methodologies for requirement analysis and all. So this is a specific methodology which deals with like specifying the requirements. Okay, so you need not get into details of that. Just understand this is an approach which like quantifies and justifies your method requirements. So there are different requirements. One is your functional, non-functional, project constraint, project drivers, and project issues. These are the 5 types of requirements that exist for any IoT. So basically, we will be focusing on the functional and the non-functional requirements. So your functional requirements will be like which are concrete, like you can quantify that, tangible kind of requirements, like the fundamental subject matter of the system and are measured by concrete means like data values. So you need data from something, then that is a functional requirement. Your decision making logic and algorithms. So you need algorithm, you need, suppose there is a least path, some problem you are calculating, you need Dijistra's algorithm. So that is your requirement. So you can quantify that I need this particular algorithm, I need data from this particular source, or for rain in that particular year, or the heartbeat of this person in this year. So these are like functional requirements. But non-functional are behavioral properties, okay, that specified function must have, such as performance, usability. So can be assigned to a specific measurement. Okay, so these are like non-tangible, you like non-functional requirements. Next is project constraint, project drivers, and project issues. These are like normal things. So the basic requirements of any IoT product you are launching are basically 2 types: functional and non-functional. Okay, so what are those functional requirements? So your functional requirements also like can be categorized into 2 groups. One is to specify the details of each individual functional requirement that must be supported by the system. The next is the data requirements. So as I told you, you need to have access to data of particular organization, a particular person. So functional requirements are basically those like your data requirements. You can basically focus on the data part. Next is non-functional requirements. So your non-functional requirements comprises of these all features. One is your like the legal part, the look and feel, how it feels, the usability part, the performance, operational, maintainability and portability, security, cultural, and political. So these are all about the non-functional requirements. So any IoT product you are launching, you need to focus basically on the functional and non-functional apart from the other like features I told. So what are these requirements in detail? We'll study in the next class. So is there any doubt about these requirements? Like could you understand basically overall what we are discussing today? Yeah, was it clear or no? Just let me know. Okay, so in the next class we'll study like what are these requirements in detail and how to go about achieving those requirements. Okay, I'm just posting the poll now. All of you answer and we'll leave. Okay, the question is given, so all of you can answer and then we can leave. And one more thing, that Mondays, since Monday was a holiday, is the question visible now, everybody? Okay. So Monday was a holiday, so the remaining review was not complete. So we are supposed to hold it today in the evening. So 7 o'clock, all of you be available. Those who have not given you reviews for the Monday lab batch. So we'll be having the reviews today in the evening. Okay. Till 8th batch it was complete. So after 8th batch, be available in the evening. Let's stop recording here.